You are listening to the Estheticians Earning More podcast with Brittany Hageman, episode 113. Welcome to the Estheticians Earning More podcast. On this podcast, we talk about how to love your esthetician business without the hustle, exhaustion, or overwhelm as it booms into a successful business. I teach simple ways how to approach your business that gives you your life back while still growing a profitable business. I grew BLH Beauty in San Diego to a six-figure business, and I learned a lot along the way, which I'm excited to share with you here. So let's get started. Hello, happy Friday. Welcome back. So glad you're here. I know I sound a little sick. I woke up with a cold. I know. It's so unlike me to have a cold. But I'm okay. I'm here and I'm ready to talk to you because today's a really great topic, I think. It's something that comes up a lot when I coach my estheticians, when I work with them either one-on-one or my group programs. It actually has come up recently because of a reel that I did. If you haven't seen my reels, go check them out. I've just started doing reels and I'm actually really loving it. Okay, so I'll tell you kind of the reel that I did in case you missed it, and then kind of what I wanted to talk about because of what came up when I made the reel. So I did a reel about kind of a script, kind of what to do if a client comes in too late for their appointment. In the video, I said it was 20 minutes, so it was too late. Of course, for you, that cannot be too late. You can always see if that works for you. You can still do that. It's just an arbitrary time that I chose and at a time that I actually had in my business because a lot of my appointments were 45 minutes. And so obviously I didn't feel like we could do an appointment and after that. But again, that's not the point. It was just arbitrary. In the episode, when I'm being the esthetician talking to the client, I apologize. I apologize for the fact I'm sorry that they're late and they had all these reasons they were late. I'm sorry to hear it. And I also apologize. I was like, sorry, I couldn't take them. And I said it twice in the video, in two separate kind of parts of the video. And I definitely got a lot of feedback, which I love. Actually, I love it if people don't necessarily agree with me because I don't expect everyone to agree with me, right? Like that's the beauty of my business is like not everyone's going to think what I think is right, and that's fine. Like if you like what you're doing, I want you just to keep doing what you're doing. But this particular reel and a lot of the things that I teach really kind of goes towards that people pleaser esthetician, right? If you know what I mean, then you're like, yes, that's me. Or maybe it's not you, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't have a problem with this. Awesome. But if you're kind of the more people pleasing person, and it's really hard for you to tell people no, then a lot of the stuff that I teach is really for you. And that particular reel was definitely for you. Okay, so people gave feedback that they didn't like how much I was apologizing. That was the first thing that people said. The other thing people said was that it was not the esthetician's fault that the person was late, that client was late, that it was the client's fault. And we're not going to apologize for something that's not our fault. And the other thing they said, other feedback I got was that I was over explaining my policies. Okay, so I want to kind of like pull all of this back and talk about why I made these decisions and why I teach this if as a way to deal with this situation. Obviously, it's not the only way. So if again what you do works for you, keep doing it. This is what I found worked best for me and felt most authentic for me, and also helps a lot of my clients. Let's talk about the apologizing first. So, something that I really value in this business and that I teach to my clients is the concept of both and, right? So, and both and, whatever, however, which way you want to say it. So, you can tell someone no and at the same time be sorry that the person's disappointed. Both can be true. You can tell them no and be like, I know this sucks. I hate this for you. Both can be true. It doesn't have to be because you're saying you're sorry that it didn't work out in this example that the client was late, whether or not it was their own doing, right? It could have been something that was completely out of the client's control or not, whatever. You can still be sorry that the appointment isn't happening. You can be sorry the client's frustrated. And you can also tell them no. I think a lot of the times, especially if you're people pleasing esthetician, you may feel by saying no to someone that you're being really mean, right? I think I've heard that from other estheticians. I know I felt that too. I feel bad. I feel guilty, especially because it's like my business and I can make whatever decisions I want. But you can have empathy and clarity around what you will and will not do in your business, right? And in this situation, empathy looks like being really sorry that this situation's happening. Like, it sucks. I'm so sorry that you hit traffic and you got out of work late or whatever it is, right? That's hard. Like, I've been in that situation where I'm trying to get somewhere. I left with more than enough time and then I hit horrible traffic. I've been there. It's really hard. It sucks. I've also had appointments or things that were really important to me, and then I got out of work late and I literally am like running there and I'm so stressed out the entire drive. And I know if I got there and they were like, sorry, it's not happening, I would be disappointed, right? So it's okay if your client's disappointed. It's okay if your client's sad or frustrated. Like, I think what we think and we've been taught to believe is that if you apologize or you have empathy for them, you're essentially saying they are right for feeling the way that they feel, and that means you are wrong for telling them no. But neither of those things, it doesn't have to be that. They can be right that it's hard, that they can't have their appointment, and you can be right saying no. And actually, I really want to, that's the next point of this, I want to take away the whole right and wrong. So I think this is where a lot of estheticians get tripped up. I think this is where a lot of estheticians get burnt out. I think this is why either if people have a hard time saying no is because they believe there's right and wrong in these situations, and then they don't want to be right and have their client be wrong because they feel like if that's the case, then their client's going to be mad at them. Or you've gotten so sick of people, coming to appointments late or not showing up or whatever the issues are, that you're like, no, I am right. They are wrong. I am not taking this anymore. So you start saying no, but then you're just really resentful of your clients and you get really frustrated and you start to really hate your business. Okay. So I'm just going to erase the right and wrong right now and the fault, like whose fault it is. We're taking that away. Because if you truly believed there's no one right or wrong in this situation, they got out of work late, like whatever, you believe what they said. Even if this is the 10th time they've done this and they are just a perpetually late person and they're saying this as a quote unquote excuse, right? Let's just take that out of the situation because it's not actually serving you or them in the situation. Because you're mad, you're taking it personally. You're like, you are always late. I don't believe you. And I'm mad now and I'm going to tell you no. And if you want to leave, fine. Right? I'm telling you right now, I have felt this way. I know a lot of people felt this way, okay? It's like you're almost like you're punishing them, right? Like, no, I'm not doing this. Kind of like why people are afraid to say no is because you feel like you're punishing them by saying no. Okay? That's assuming that they are at fault. They were late. It's their fault. You did nothing wrong. You were here to work. Why are you apologizing for something that they did? Right? This is the mentality that we develop also as humans. This is not I'm not trying to put anyone down. This is just a human way of protecting ourselves. Okay? Your brains are protecting ourselves. But I'm going to ask you to think of it in a different way that is actually way more serving to you and to them in the situation, and you can also still say no. And this is the way I want you to look at it. It's really hard to be late to an appointment. Whether or not it's their fault, quote unquote, who knows? I don't know. I don't care. It's super hard. Super hard coming to an appointment late and being told you can't have the appointment. That sucks. I don't like that happening to me. And I'm a person who doesn't like being late. I work really hard to be on time, but it still happens to me sometimes because things are out of my control, right? And as an esthetician, I can say it's just not enough time. It sucks that there's not enough time. It sucks that I can't accommodate you. Even if you quote unquote, quote unquote, and I've been saying quote unquote a lot this episode, but even if hypothetically you could, you don't have any more time after this person, you have the availability, but you just don't want to. you made the appointment for this time. This is what's happening. You don't want to you're making like habits where you're just being consistent with everybody, whether or not that you can squeeze them in, right? Like I know I got to the point where I was like, even if I could take them because no one was after them, I would still say no because I just wanted to be consistent with everybody because I didn't think it was fair. I would take this person just because I had no one after them, and I wouldn't take the next person that was late because I did have someone after them. I wanted to just be fair to everyone and treat everyone the same. Okay, so both can be true. Both can be true. The person can be late, out of their control, and you can say no without wanting to punish or hurt the person. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause. And if it's someone who's a serial person who's late, who comes late every single time, then you can still have that conversation with them with a lot of love. Like, hey, listen, I love you coming in. I love spending time with you. I'm so grateful to have you as a client. And you're consistently late, which isn't sustainable, right? So we're going to need to make a change. You either need to come to your appointments or like, this isn't working for me, right? That's a different episode, different podcast. I just want to give that to you. You're still also allowed to be like, hey, this is a pattern that's not working. But we're going to just say for this particular example that it's just someone who is late, okay? Because if we take away the fault, that I'm right and you are wrong, we take that out of the equation and we look at it from the perspective as everyone is right, no one is wrong in this situation. We show up so differently, right? We're not showing up in a punishing, angry energy. We're not showing up as, I'm not going to let them do this to me anymore. I'm not going to let this person do this. I'm going to make my money. I deserve it energy, right? We're also not showing up as like, it's wrong for me to tell them no because if I tell them no, then they're going to be mad. And if they're mad, that means they're not going to come back and I'm going to lose the money, or they're going to go and tell everyone how horrible I am. So I'm just going to say yes because I don't want everyone to be mad at me because I don't want to be wrong in the situation. Maybe I could have still taken them. Maybe I could have made it work, or maybe, right? Like if you aren't wrong in the situation and they aren't wrong in the situation, how would you respond? Like how would you show up? How would you feel? If you're like, I am right to say no, and they are right to be upset. Both can be true. It's okay for your client to be mad. It's also okay for you to tell them no. But when they are mad, as opposed to being like, well, that's their fault. They were late. Right? Which I think kind of makes you feel better. Like not you, but the like, me. If it makes a human feel better in the moment, being like, that's their fault. They should be mad. That's what they get when they don't show up on time and value me and value my time. And it becomes this whole matter of respect, right? Like they don't respect me. They don't respect my time. Just they're a human being. That something didn't work out the way they were hoping it would work out and they're disappointed about that. That's okay. I'm a human being where something didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out, right? I wanted them to be here on time to do the appointment. That's okay that I am disappointed and saying no too. We can both have not gotten what we wanted the situation and still have a lot of love and empathy and kindness. And I'm going to lead that because it is my business. They may not reciprocate that. They may get mad. They may leave. There may be this whole whatever. But if I show up in a way that's really authentic to me, which is kindness, clarity, empathy, which is how I try to run my BLH business and this business as well, then I know I did my best that I could in this situation, even if the client doesn't come back. I hope that was helpful. If you're like, that was great, I want more, great, more is coming. More is coming, more episodes are coming. I will also tell you when I'm starting to take one-on-one clients. It is coming soon-ish. Not as soon as I would like because of childcare, but soon-ish. So I will let you know when you can sign up for that. I will talk to you soon. Talk to you next week. Have a fantastic week. Let me know if you try this, and seriously, DM me at esthetician.coach. Can't wait to hear how it goes. Bye for now.